My question is, what is the surface area of this Post-it note holder? And in order to find the surface area, there are certain dimensions that I need to know. If I drew this three-dimensionally, I would see that I need to find the length, the width, and the height. These three dimensions will allow me to then find the surface area. Using a tape measure, I measured in inches, which worked out to be very precise for me. You may consider measuring in centimeters or another measurement, but I measured in inches and I found the length to be 5 inches. I found the width to be 4 inches. And my height, it might be harder to see on there, but my height I found out to be 1 1/4 or 1/4 of an inch. Now I want to look at the surface area, and when I think of my rectangular prism, I know that I have 3 different sides and they have matching pairs. So one side would be the 5 inches by 4 inches side, and I know that that has then an area of length times width, which is 5 times 4 or 20 inches. And there are 2 corresponding sides of that, so already when I add those 2 sides together I have 40 inches. Now the next 2 sides are a little bit trickier. They're 5 inches by 1 1/4 of an inch. So 5 times 1 1/4 is harder for me to do it in my head. So I'm going to look at this as 5 inches times 1 1/4. Okay. I can also look at that. 1 can also be written as 4/4 plus 1/4, which is 5/4 of an inch. So I'm going to take that 5 inches times 5/4 of an inch, and that gives me 25/4 of an inch. 25/4 of an inch, when I reduce or simplify that, 4 goes into 25, 6, so I have 6 whole inches and 1/4 of an inch remaining. So the area of this is 6 1/4 inches. I have another 6 1/4 inches, so I have 12. 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4 or a half. So I have 12 1/2 inches when I combine those 2 sides. And the last 2 sides I need to look at are 4 inches by 1 1/4 of an inch, 4 inches by 1 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take 4 inches. I'm going to multiply that by 1 1/4, which I also know to be 5/4. 4 times 5/4 is 20/4, which is exactly 5 inches. So the area of this is 5 inches, and the area of this one is 5 inches, giving me a total area of 10 inches. Lastly, then I want to take the 3 measurements that I found, which is really a combination, and add them all up together so that I get my total surface area. So I have 40 plus 12 1/2. 40 plus 12 1/2 is 52 1/2, plus another 10 inches is 62 1/2 inches. And that would be my surface area. As I look at the standards for math practice, I realize that I use several standards, but I will start by highlighting the first standard, which is make sense of problems and persevere in solving them. So in order to solve the total amount of surface area, what I had to realize to myself is that surface area, the idea of surface area is like if I were taking gift wrapping paper, and wrapping it around that box of Post-it notes, how much wrapping paper would I need? So I'm looking at how much it covers it on the outside. So to me, that was starting by explaining to myself the meaning of the problem. I then had to plan a solution pathway, and part of my plan was to find the measurements, to document all of those measurements. And the next thing I had to do was draw out a diagram to make sure that I showed that there were 6 sides to that rectangular prism, and that I needed to account for all 6 sides. And I did that by using concrete objects and pictures. And so this is how I made sense of the problem and persevered in solving it.